By the clack-smack cracking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes.
And it is Oh No More Lemmings. So, welcome to the first level, and holy shit, this one scarred me as a kid. The Lemming tomato ketchup facility. The thing with this one level is that as a kid, I could not figure out how to beat this level, so I will just boot up this one level and just see the Lemming getting minced by the huge saw blades and being pounded to death by the ketchup bottle whatever thingy without figuring out what you had to do. Also, this part is really annoying because it requires like the knowledge of a mechanic in the game that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. If you mine and then you hit a certain part of the landscape or whatever that's end up being impossible to dig through, then your miner is gonna turn direction, and that's the key in order to do this level. You need to send the climber over the one-way wall, then mine in order to hit the steel, and then you will turn back and then you can bash. The bottom part is a whole lot easier. You just have to set up 2 bombers, just like you ended up doing in like level 22 of Tricky or something. Oh, Inroducing SUPERLEMMING. And yeah, by the whoa. Oh my god, okay. So, first of all, we had a typo that's in the Amiga version, by the way. It's not in SUPERLEMMING or whatever. And yeah, Inroducing SUPERLEMMING. That's what SUPERLEMMING is. He's super powered and he goes at the speed of light, and you have to guide him along the way. So yeah, welcome to a level gimmick. That's like the only time in the game where sort of things like that happen, when lemmings have different skills or whatever, but yeah, or fast forward doesn't do anything because we're already moving at fast forward. So the main gimmick of this level is just being able to keep up with the pace of our lemming. For the most part, the way that you have to build or dig is pretty straightforward, but yeah, the final part is where things get really hairy. Because yeah, now we have to build over these gaps. That's simple enough, but okay, I guess that's simple enough as long as you try and keep some tab onto your builder, because yeah, it's pretty easy to misclick when everything moves so fast. But yeah, look at the final gap that we have to bridge. We definitely don't have any room in order to build there without hitting the ceiling and then just running out of builders altogether. So yep, we have to dig, and then you have to switch skills really fast in order to be able to assign a builder and make it so that your lemming is not gonna splat. And that's not all, by the way, because, yeah, whenever you're starting building, yeah, you also need to bash in order to not hit the ceiling and turn back and die. Whew, that level was definitely an event. And by the way, this level is not in the Windows 95 or the PlayStation version. I guess the designers were too lazy or something to put it in. They couldn't figure out how to program the SUPERLEMMING gimmick. So either way, it's time to this corrosion. Yep, this entire place is corroded indeed. It's falling away into steel madness. Also, for people that ended up playing Xmas Lemmings 91 on the PC, that was the second of the 2 Oh No More Lemmings level that were included in the game. So yeah, that was your second glimpse at the world of this game. The other one was level 14 of Crazy. This level is also pretty neat because it's one of those levels where you're gonna need to send a trailblazer doing the work. But the thing is, your other lemmings are not gonna follow his lead because, yeah, they just cannot do the path that he's gonna take in any way whatsoever. Because, yeah, it doesn't look like, well, maybe you can just halt your progress through the chains whatsoever. I mean, we still have 2 bashers left, which means 1 more basher in order to destroy the pillar, and then another one for the chain? But no, because it turns out that, well, you can go through the chain as we're going to demonstrate right now. Yep, and now we have to build because, yeah, you probably have noticed, but there's a tiny 1 pixel wide hole in the chain, and your lemming will go underneath it if left unchecked. So the idea behind the level is that you need to get your lemming from one level to the other, and in order to do so, you send in your lone climber trailblazer in order to build a ramp between the wall and the other bit of floor. Then you dig downwards at the top level in order to get your lemmings to go down the next level, and then you do it again. With that said, the last drop is a little bit more steep, so... And you also need to be a little bit more careful with how you use your builder, because otherwise, you're definitely gonna look like a fool if you fuck this bit up. I'm always a little bit paranoid concerning this final bit because, yeah, you can definitely see it's a much bigger drop. So, if you build your ramp too tight, I think it's possible for your lemmings to splat while going down here, but I have never been able to make this happen. So, it's probably safe, but I don't like the word probably. Oh no, it's the 4th dimension! Whew, okay. We've got 4 dimensions of lemming going on here. This level is pretty reminiscent of level 18 of Mayhem, and then there were 4. Except here it's a little bit harder, because 2 of your gangs of lemmings are just plain unchecked into their ability to roam around the place, so yep. You're gonna need to make it so that TiL will remain safe to some extent by doing the required builder work or whatever. So, the bottom part of the level is the first priority, especially like the lower left, because your lemmings are going to keep dying for quite a long time before they are finally safe. You're probably gonna lose something like at least 5 or 6 of them by the time that you're done with this portion of the level. I think it will also be possible to minimize the number of casualties in the lower right if you bomb the ramp open in order to make it so that your lemmings will stop falling downwards or anything, but yeah. Remember afterwards that you're gonna need to use your bombers in order to dig downward from here, so yep. It's time for one thing that Wicked loves to do a whole lot, and it is to make you do precision bombers. Which is definitely not the best thing to do in this game, considering how finicky of a mechanic this is. Alright, we finally saved the bottom left portion of the level, with one last lemming that will die while being remembered. Okay, I don't think that's how the saying goes, but I could not think of any other way in order to do it. So, precision bombers are a bastard, but at least we can use builders in order to stall them long enough for the lemming to stay at the place where you want it to explode, so that's definitely going to make it easier on us. But yeah, we're not done with the level yet, because we still have the upper right portion to save, and it's the upper left portion of the lemmings that are going to save the place for you. Oh yeah, that's right, there's also a hole in the staircase here, so yeah, we're gonna need to dig through, or build through, or whatever. Alright, and with all that said and done, we finally did it. It's now time for all of our lemmings to... Oh no, now our lemmings are trapped under the staircase because of my builder. Okay, so if I wanted things to be okay, I would have needed to just keep building from the upper staircase, the one that I built over the exit. Because yeah, now I cannot see how this is gonna end well. Yep. That was a total failure. It's a good thing that I only have to save 30 lemmings, so I'm just trying to go for bonus points here, but who knows if I'm gonna get any. Alright, come on, please make it up there. I don't want to come home with my pockets empty. Okay, we've got one of them at least. It's definitely possible to save more lemmings in this one level, and that's a level that's fun to play in order to see how well you can do in this level. So far, I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with the quality of the levels that we've had so far. So now, it's time to chill out. So, we have to save everybody here, but how are we going to do this with the level layout that we have here? Yep, what we have to do here is to dig a long tunnel in order to get all of our lemmings to turn back. Then we build a ramp here in order to make it so that... Oh no, okay, I unfortunately fucked it up. You're not really allowed to have any lemmings that climb out of the tunnel that you're currently building, because the goal of this tunnel is to get all of our lemmings to turn back in order for them to get to the exit. So the only lemming that's allowed to get out of this tunnel, well, is the one that's busy digging the tunnel right now, so... Yep, you just need to dig in very small increments. You need to make it so that your lemmings will be able to climb out of your staircase. And yeah, That's why you need to have nobody else leave, because you need to assign a climber to the final lemming that was busy digging the tunnel in order for him to climb to the exit. Right now, there's no way to get the other lemming all the way back up here. Yeah, getting close. You're either pretty good or simply lucky. I don't know. I don't really think that you can prevail with luck this late in the game. You definitely need to know what you're doing whenever you're in the wicked difficulty. What? Oh my god! Ugh. So my lemming somehow managed to climb out of the tunnel because of a small tiny incline that was found because of my... now... What? Wow, this is unbelievable. Right now, this is not even like the level's fault or anything. I'm just incredibly unlucky right now. What the fuck is going on now? Keep it together. So yeah, make sure that you don't go too low, but don't go too high neither in order to dig out of your entire tunnel, because that's gonna be a bad thing either way. Anyway, we need to rectify this because I think my staircase was too steep, so alright. Yeah, gotta make sure that I highlight my basher. And now bash again. Here we go. Now we've done it. Everybody has safely made it back to the other side. And now we gotta wait for a minute for the last lemming to go all the way to the other end of the level and then go back. Of course, don't assign a climber while you're still walking right, because otherwise you're just gonna climb on the icicle to your doom. Wow, a lot of things really happen on this one level. I can't say they were good things, but they were things. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of bubbles. Yep, pop till you drop. Also, 80 lemmings, 30 to be safe, and 8 minutes. Holy shit, this is a first in this game. So far, we haven't got a single level in the game that went over the 4-minute mark, but here we go with a level that finally does something different and gives you a 8 whole minute in order to beat this level. And depending on how you play this level, you might end up needing it, because this can end up being a pretty lengthy level. So, unlike the other level in the series that was Pop Your Top, that was the first level of Wild, in this one level, however, you cannot cheese the level by building over the little bubble rows or something. You have to blow your way through them. You have a couple of blockers that you can use in order to make it a little easier on you, or failing that, you can also use a builder trick in order to stall your lemming long enough for your bomber to explode where you'll want him to explode. It's a little trickier to do, but it can definitely be done. But yeah, you can see in the middle of the level why you cannot go over the... okay. And now I've somehow managed to get one lemming stuck inside the level geometry. This is definitely a bug that's courtesy of SUPERLEMMING, because you will never see that happen in any of the original games. Nonetheless, even though you can't really cheese this level anymore, at least not on this version of the game, you can definitely do it in the Windows 95 version of the game. And judging by this, I'm gonna go and say you probably can do it on the PlayStation version too. But yeah, you still have to bring all of your 4 groups of lemmings together in order to get all of your lemmings into one common group, and then you use your 4 miners in order to make it to the exit without any kind of hassle whatsoever. With that said, I am definitely making things a little harder on myself right now, because, yep, in order to try and make it so that my lemmings are going to be together, well, I probably should just get phase 1 of the plan right ahead. Because, yeah, now with this one miner, I've managed to get my 2 rightmost groups together, and now let's hope that my 1 bomber is gonna be right. Alright, we did it. We've managed to get a single group of lemming going, and with 3 miners, we have more than enough in order to dig a straightforward path to the exit without any needs for bombing whatsoever, so no need for precision or timing bombing anymore. With that said, this level is really forgiving about it, so even if you play this level on good old-fashioned Lemmings without like Neo-Lemmings or SUPERLEMMING, this is still a pretty easy level. I mean, we had to save 30 Lemmings, and yeah, we've got 71. Yeah, what a fine display of Lemming control indeed, but yeah. This level was pretty easy, but with that said, it was only a map of things to come in the Wicked difficulty, because we have now reached a part of the Wicked difficulty that really obsesses a whole lot with time bombing, because we're definitely gonna do a whole bunch of it in the next levels. That's kind of reminiscent as to what Lemmings did when you reach the halfway point of the Tricky difficulty. With that said, however, these levels are kind of a whole lot harder. Yep, we have two groups of Lemmings and we need to time our bombers well enough so that they will be able to all get to the exit while having like one common pit where they will all fall down in unison or whatever. Okay, yeah, with that said, I definitely fucked this thing up. Okay, I'm still gonna give it a go and hope that everything is gonna work out fine. The rightmost group is gonna be the one that will walk straight to the exit, while the group on the left is just gonna hit the blocker in order to go here. Let's hope that with the two needless casualties that I've had, because it's entirely possible to save the Lemmings that I killed earlier. Yep, we barely did it. We needed 72 Lemmings, and that's exactly what we've gotten. So you have some margin of error for this one level, so yeah, and overall this level is pretty inoffensive, and for the most part, well, it's pretty compact and it doesn't require too much precision per se, so it's still a nice level. I really have to say that Wicked really picks up the slack after a while, considering how samey and repetitive it was, but yep, here's another level where we have to do precision bombing. This time, however, we have to do it, yeah, from poles. Remember whenever I did my alternate strategy for level 1 of Crazy? Well, now we've got an entire level based around this gimmick. You need to climb before you bomb, because otherwise you're going to destroy the entire floor and your Lemmings are all gonna die to their doom. Yeah, are all gonna die to their doom. That's perfect grammar here. I will kill you with death. And yeah, make sure that you keep at least one pole straight, because we do need to build a ramp toward the exit. And while it's currently being busy built, we're just going to do this gimmick one last time. Time it one final time for the road. Even if you bomb a little too high, that's okay, because you still have builders in order to build up to the pillar where your Lemmings will be able to walk up of it, but in overall it's still not that hard to time properly, so yeah, we've had like 3 levels in a row, however, which have been definitely easy. These levels probably could have been like on the Crazy difficulty and not really the Wicked one. Also, for this one level, I guess that the designers just decided to take one of the phrases that the testers over Psygnosis ended up saying a whole lot when playing this game. How on earth? With that said, for a level that's called like that, I mean, it's kind of ballsy to just admit in your title that your level is gonna be really freaking hard, but unfortunately, this level is really not that hard. Even when I first played this level, I didn't really spend a whole lot of time in figuring out what was the key to winning this one level. You have 1 floater, 2 blockers, and 20 builders. The blockers are used in order to encast all of your 50 Lemmings. You send in 1 floater in order to drop all the way down here in order to start building the stairs, but yeah. Now you've probably figured out, well, the Lemmings are not going to be able to survive that splat distance. Well, you're exactly right, which is why as soon as we're going to hit this wall over here, we're gonna get to work on that one aspect of the level. Yeah, it's one of those levels, those good old school level from the regular Lemmings where you just had to build a shitload of ramps and not do a whole lot exciting on it. This is one of those levels that I definitely will skip indeed. That said, this level is a whole lot more fun whenever you have fast forward in order to skip through all of the tedious building. And even when you're on the Amiga or whatever, it's still pretty easy to beat this level, because you don't even need to like do a precision build or something, because you can just build straight from the left of the platform in order to collide against your blocker, and then go all the way to the right in order to go over the other blocker. So Yeah, this level, however, was kind of the first major misstep of the difficulty. This level is honestly not very creative. Anyway, welcome to the Temple of Love. You're definitely gonna love, well, you know, screaming in agony, because this is what this level will do to you the first time that you'll play it. After giving us a couple of easy levels in a row, now we could get back to business. Back when I first played this game, I spent almost an entire week on this level trying to figure out how the hell to beat it. So we need to set up one blocker at the top in order to prevent our lemmings from going down here, and you use your builder here in order to be able to make a bridge up to the wall so that your lemmings are going to turn back whenever they're going to get down here. Also, yeah, you've probably noticed the placement of my blocker here. It's definitely more to the right of the little tiny platform over here, and the reason for that is whenever we'll get our lemmings all the way down here, we'll need to make him explode, which is going to dig a pit way further to the left. So you can't simply put your blocker at the center of that tiny platform, because otherwise your lemming are going to land to the left of the tiny platform below and they will die. And here's the other complicated part of this level. I always was tricked by the bottom left portion of the level because I always thought that had something to do with the solution, but no, it doesn't. It's just here in order to make you think that it has some reason to be here, but it doesn't. Just ignore it. You have to build a continuous ramp from the platform all the way up there until you have 2 builders, and then you assign him as a blocker, because with the other climber that I'm sending right now, he's gonna be the one to finish the last little bit of bridge that we need in order to get to the exit, and yeah, it's a good idea to have at least 2 builders. You can do it with only 1, but it's gonna be pretty touchy. And while we're busy building this last bit of bridge, we're gonna free everybody else. Don't wait too long because time is always precious, but don't do it too soon because, yeah, if your bridge is not ready by the time that your lemmings are going to walk back, well, they're all gonna end up in the drink. Maybe this is the temple of wet cement world, or wet concrete, or wet whatever the water is. We still haven't reached a consensus in the great water debate of this world. But yeah, that'll be it for the Temple of Love. Definitely a pretty creative solution in level, and I'm glad to see that, well, levels are puzzles again, because Wild was definitely short of them. Oh, alright, are you ready for the road? The rocky road? Hell yeah! With that said, however, we're definitely gonna keep this for the next update, because we've definitely did enough progress for today. So we're gonna have new hazards to deal with and one hell of a rocky road. So before we end this update, here's another attempt at Pop Till You Drop. fine display of Lemming control. Take a bow, then carry on with the game.